I appreciate you tuning in. Today we will be going through the Illuvium dev blog of March. It's been a few days now, but I wanted to go over this with you guys. I haven't actually read through all of it. I glanced at it a bit, but I'm here to go with it through you now. And it looks like the intro, he's just talking about last 6 months. They've had a lot of work to do, and they've been catching up on it. Now the Illuvium Arena, the ranked arena, what was formerly known, is now getting a name change to the Ascendant Arena. So that's happening. The main launch of Private Beta 1 is imminent. We are waiting on some security features related to the content delivery. As you can see from the streams, it is more than good enough to go to the public. We have nearly completed the Private Beta 2 alluvials, including the links in Tier 0, but keep in mind that is over 100 units. So 100 units potentially whenever we actually get our hands on the private beta, but that will bring the total to about 150, just 50 more remaining before the open beta, when everybody gets their hands on the game, not just the chosen few. Says, I'm working with the lead of Illuvium Arena to re-architect many systems, both from a game design and coding perspective. Hence, bugs are less likely to be created and easier to spot. Eventually, all the creation is done through the data editors, making it far more stable. It will also mean that the subsystems are easier to understand, making combat systems easy to create, which sounds awesome. We're all about that. Making everything smooth and figuring out the bugs before they happen. The QA team raised 106 bugs, and the developers resolved 141, which means we are getting closer to being bug-free. Augments, bonding, and the new hyper mechanic will happen this month. Hyper won't be complete because it also requires adding hyper versions of every ability for all 200 plus combat units, but the mechanic will be completed. The cinematic renderer now works in survival mode, but it is unavailable for the beta testers. And it says we have moved all of our data server side and versioned it so that we can check patches against your client and allow you to download the latest version if needed. The replay system can leverage this, but we are not planning version compatibility for the first few months. They finalized the groom and hair card system. Players will default to the optimized hair cards that look great. Still, if you have a beast rig and can select Grant mode and see everything with cinematic level hair strands, at least for a few minutes before your PC melts. Grant mode. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the project, Grant Warwick is the lead modeler, the lead designer on the graphics end of the game. So Grant mode is obviously a thing now. So as we are nearly complete with the art for all alluvials, we will start to polish the alluvials that need it. Our first few lines aren't entirely up to the latest standards, but we move on to improving the art by adding additional immersive systems, such as visual indicators of health and status, and additive animations to show that a unit is hurt. Interesting. That would be very impactful to create the immersion that we all want and keep you in the game. So the Illuvium overworld is next. He talks about it here. Some setbacks were due to international events that preoccupied some of our core contributors. We are back at nearly total capacity, and the team is rapidly getting to a functional state. The key word last month was functional. This month we are aiming for polished. So yeah, that's good. The Crimson Waste region is nearly ready. It only needs to be optimized for higher level GPUs, but work has already begun on the low end too. So we made some updates to the existing plants that were not up to our standards. The UI for the new HUD is in progress, including the new in-game notification system. Harvesting and mining are also nearly done. So foraging is functional. There is a more UI work to go, but you can take a recipe and turn it into the final product, which requires a complete inventory system that is also functional. All right, so that's more than we've heard in the past. We didn't know that there was an inventory. We can harvest and mine things, and we can create things from our recipes now. So that's all in the works, and it looks like they've about finished that. So we have doubled our UI programming team this month, meaning that all the cool designs got created much faster. Teleport beacons are now functional. Encounter mode is now functional. It's not in the final state, and we are still a while away from the private beta 2. Still, you can now enter in an encounter, play the battle, capture the alluvials, and exit with them in your inventory. I want to stress that borrowing the encounter mode from Illuvium Arena is just the first phase of a much larger plan to allow you to capture alluvials within the world, the overworld, I think is what he means. But that upgrade requires a colossal update, and as such, we will leverage the auto battler to enable capture. But don't worry, we will begin work on a complete overhaul of the overworld fight mechanics as soon as possible. So now do Illuvium 0. A slightly larger team has increased the throughput significantly, and the internal alpha looks good. The VFX completed except for some optimization. We are adding some new plant assets to make it feel alive. Full UI updates in progress, tutorial system, and daily and weekly goal systems, landmark system, boosts collection of a specific fuel type is being worked on and is in place. Land tier boosts, flat percentage boost depending on the user's tier, and then the web GL version of the game also looks great. So we should be able to access this game from a web graphical interface, not just our phones, I believe. So a new sound engineer has implemented most of the sounds. He's as good as the others on the Illuvium Arena team, which should tell you how good Illuvium Z will sound. Future scoping has begun, and we will need the community to input. After all, you all birthed Zero. How should we expand it? I have some ideas, as do the rest of the team. There's a lot we can do to tie it in with the storyline. So the new launch cinematic, no new updates there. The account app, no new updates here. It is complete as far as the private betas are concerned. We'll revisit it before the open of the beta open launch. The game launcher. Last month, we announced the game launcher as a standalone app that acts as a singular hub for all things Illuvium. So essentially, this is going to be our Blizzard launcher, if you will. It is where you are downloading and patching the game. It's where players create matches and enter matchmaking queues. It is where players find news. It hosts a version of the Illuvidex and probably many more web apps. Very close to having the download portal ready, so people don't have to get the betas manually. Okay, so it looks like this is what we're waiting on for the betas. So once they get that cleared up, they'll probably issuing all the beta access to everybody who got into the private beta. We have a clear picture of this app's functionality and final look. The desktop app version will begin soon. So staking V2. Staking V2 deployment was very smooth. Apart from some minor UI changes, there wasn't much that we need to fix. There is one area in which we need to do some work, but the devs will probably do it before you see this edit done. Token holders that did not withdraw received accumulated rewards greater than if we had kept staking running. Interesting. Gas fees are lower and claiming rewards much simpler. We believe almost all minor UI bugs are gone. Nearly all issues have come from user error or wallet incompatibility. We will add more wallets over time. I want to start work on V3 after a small break so that everyone can regain their sanity, because there is not a trivial amount of work to get everyone moved to L2. That is the goal. We will try to make that as seamless as possible. Still, I want to prep people that moving to L2 is more challenging and might require some decisions that not everybody is happy about, but the positives massively outweigh any negatives. Okay. So he goes on to talk about the land sale and the Illuvidex. We're very close, apart from some testing and infrastructure, but we are there. Audits have begun, so I'm optimistic that we will have an announcement on the date for you soon. The Illuvidex is going to swallow the Illuviary. It will be one app now, which makes much more sense. He says, yes, I made the name and made them two separate things to begin with, but I was wrong. There is an infrastructure change in the progress to secure us against malicious actors. We've noticed that there has been a significant uptick in people trying to disrupt us at the infrastructure level. As a positive, we've also seen a significant drop-off of scammers in Discord. We still need to end-to-end testing with IMX to ensure that we don't do anything silly like misconfigure variables. I'm saying that the security first approach with staking V2 worked, and we will continue that process. Basically, there is a reason why we feel going with IMX as a proper ZK rollup is much safer than a side chain. So, all right. The new website deployed simultaneously with V2 looks sharp, looks great. And Illuvatars, he says, are about the same state as the land sale since they are plugins to the Illuvidex. However, the Illuvatars started after and begins from the experience gained from the land sale. It is also slightly less complex, meaning that the overall work has been much lower. So the Illuvatars Genesis set phase 2 has begun. So they've already completed phase 1. There will be a few more accessories and 25 extra alluvial portraits to purchase. We're talking billions of combinations. Audits for the specific Illuvatar components will get underway soon. We are doing another pass at refining the user experience. We want this to be fun and straightforward. Keep in mind that Illuvatars is a far more complex than your run-of-the-mill PFP project. And the DAO dashboard, still on hold, but will start work this month now that staking 2 is out. And then the investment app. Work to begin this month. Most important thing is that we managed to get the token and unlock pushback 3 months, clearly showing that we care about the project's long-term health. Not much story yet. They are working on a new trailer for us, and some lore that might be included in this trailer, possibly. And that's about it. There's a new council, lots of IIPs, lots more to come. Infrastructure, Illuvium Cloud continues to expand, delivering on the download CDN. Improved pipelines, reduced build time, increasing usability. Conventions for AWS resources, which will improve security. Nice. And the Illuvium Insider has proven popular and allows deep connections with the community. Initiatives such as these are sort of marketing we want to focus on because they are effective and we can execute them incredibly well. We launched our first mini campaign on staking V2 with 2 more on the way for the land sale and the Illuvatars. And okay, what does he say in the summary? So everyone on the project is excited about the future. Look no further than the willingness of both investors and contributors to extend the unlock. Since then, we've seen a lot of growth because everyone understands that we are legit. And we get it. There are many scams in the space, but watching live gameplay footage, select people outside the team getting their hands on the game, and constant progress updates will allay those fears. On a more serious note, we want to thank all the contributors who continue to work tirelessly on the project. The community needs to understand that these people work hard. We get it. It's fun to say win. Keep in mind that many have gone a year straight without a break, including weekends. As much as I am thankful for those that understand delays, I equally want to implore those others to realize that core contributors do read the chat and negatively can affect them the same as anyone else. Not as much as the lack of sleep and rest, but mental health is important too. I challenge anyone to find a PlayFi project that has shown as much progress as Illuvium. We've just eclipsed 500,000 more work hours completed and are still just as excited to break the 1,000,000-hour mark. Let's make sure we do it. And he says, see you in the arena. Awesome. Well, that sounds amazing. I am excited for this next month and the things that we're going to see. I think once we get our hands on the open beta, that would be amazing, but we're probably 3 more months, 2 to 3 more months away from that is what I'm kind of guessing. But the land sale should be coming up soon. So we'll see the land sale sooner than later. It sounds like they just need to finish out the Illuvidex, and I believe that sale and everything will take place with that release of the platform, of the app that will take place on. And I hope this was as interesting and helpful to you guys as it was for me. It's interesting that we've changed the name for the ranked arena too. So now we're seeing an ascendant arena. But there you have it. There's the developer blog for March. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Welcome to my own space. 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 Welcome to my own space.